Iron Magnolia Part 1. The Quiet Storm. In the dusty hills of Redford, a small town tucked between the Tennessee woods and forgotten highways, the Lawson family had just moved into a weathered farmhouse on the edge of the neighborhood. The property had belonged to Clara Lawson's late uncle, a war veteran, and though it needed work, it came with land and freedom, two things Clara cherished more than anything. Clara was not a woman who intimidated easily. A 6-foot-tall black woman with arms strong from building, teaching, and farming. She was a retired Army sergeant who'd done 2 tours in Afghanistan. Her voice was calm but carried weight. Her presence alone could silence a room. She had raised 2 boys and a niece on her own after her sister passed. To them, she was mother, father, protector, and compass, but the town of Redford wasn't ready for her. Within a week of moving in, they saw signs. At first, it was the looks the gas station attendant who slammed the window shut before she could pay. The children pulled close by their parents at the local diner. Then it got uglier. A cross was burned in their field. Chickens were poisoned. A noose appeared on the porch one morning, left like a welcome mat. Her niece cried that day. Her sons raged. Claire said nothing but that night. She sat polishing her weapon on the porch, a restored double UW IM-1 Garand rifle, the same kind her uncle had used, the same kind she had trained with as a tribute, a relic and a warning. Its gleam in the moonlight was enough to quiet the woods. Part 2. Blood and Soil. The neighbors across the field, the Covingtons, were the source. Everyone knew it. Old money, Confederate flags, and a long family history of controlling the town. Preston Covington was the patriarch, a big man with a gut full of beer and hate. He'd inherited a failing trucking company and tried to cling to relevance with intimidation. When the Covington boys began circling the Lawson property in their trucks late at night, Clara set up cameras. When they fired warning shots in the air, she called the sheriff, who never came. One night, while her sons were out at work and her niece was home with a fever, Clara saw movement on the cameras, 4 figures creeping toward the barn. She didn't call anyone. She opened the gun safe, slid the Garand into her arms, and stepped outside. Part 3. The weapon she walked through the night like a ghost of justice, slow, deliberate. The rifle was slung over her shoulder like a sword of old. When she reached the barn, the Covington boys were inside, slashing the tractor tires, one of them pouring gas. She clicked the bolt into place. "Don't move." The sound of the rifle cocking froze them. They turned, and for the first time, they saw her. Not the woman in town. Not the single mother. Not the invader they'd whispered about. They saw her. Clara stood like the final page of a forgotten war, boots planted, eyes locked, the Garand trained dead center. "I suggest you put that can down and walk real slow toward the fence," she said. One of them, a younger boy, no older than her youngest, burst into tears. His knees buckled. Another tried to run and slipped in the mud. They didn't just cry from fear. They cried from knowing they had never been the strongest people in the room. Not here. She didn't fire. She didn't need to by morning. Their father came to apologize, quiet, stuttering, ashamed. The video had gone viral online after Clara's sons posted it. The sheriff, forced to act, arrested the boys. The mayor came by weeks later with a donation check and a public statement. Clara refused both. Part 4. The bloom. Months later, the Lawsons rebuilt the barn. The field flourished again. Clara planted a magnolia tree by the gate, her uncle's ashes beneath it. The town changed, not quickly, not fully, but enough because no one in Redford forgot the night a black woman stood alone in the dark with history on her shoulder, holding not just a weapon, but a mirror. And in that reflection, they saw themselves clearly for the first time.